Hello guys, Mrs. Silk here with another video. So I want you to have this one in your mind. Roughly about 50% of women between 20 years old to 45 years old are not single. They're either married, having a boyfriend, or living with someone. So with that in mind, don't see those women as someone who actually rejects you as a person. I mean, I can imagine that you have many times tried to get attention from a specific attractive woman and she doesn't give you anything back. And then you feel like she in some way is out of your league. It's like you're not good enough for her. And you continue. It could either be a couple of approaches you made on the street, open up with, attractive strangers, or it could be at, your social circle or at work. So let's say at work, you talk with this woman over and over again and she's smiling, she seems to be really interesting and so on. And you're doing your best in order to, get her attention and so on, and to actually build up something. And then you found out that she doesn't give you anything back. And therefore, you just gave up. You might not have pulling the trigger either. So you just don't know. You just feel like the energy was dropping to the floor. It's like you don't get anywhere. And of course, the same thing goes when you go in and approach women. You try to open up with new women. It could be, at nightclubs, bars. It could be on the street if you had the courage to do so. And then they don't give you anything. They don't want to start a conversation with you. Or they might have started a conversation, but they seem to be not that interested. And immediately you feel like, oh, it's about me. I'm not good enough. All those women are out of my league. And I am just not worthy. Have you had that feeling? I've had that feeling a lot of time. So it's very important to have this in mind, that if 50% of women is in relationships, they will not give you much of a chance to become their partner, would they? I mean, even to sleep with them so they can be unfaithful for their husband or the boyfriend is also not likely. It happens, but not likely. And don't fall for the game that you are a lot better man than her current boyfriend. So you're going to, conquer her from him. No. Don't think like that either. Just see that as a woman that is not available and start focus on women that are available. I mean, if 50% of women are occupied, are not single, we still have the other 50% that are single. Focus on them. But here comes the tricky part. When you are talking with that woman at work, maybe she might work in a different section or whatever, but you stump into her, once in a while and you're trying to do your thing. And then you just feel a little bit like every time you try to make a move, it feels like she's backing off. And therefore you don't want to proceed. And eventually you don't do anything. It might not be that she doesn't like you or she doesn't think that you are worthy. Many times it has nothing to do with that. She might have a boyfriend. She might be one of those 50%, and that's a huge number. 50% of those women, and if that woman is attractive, it might be even higher. It could be 60% of women that are attractive are not single. So instead of thinking that you are not worthy and she's out of your league, think of her as being someone who is simply not available. And that is especially true if you know how to communicate with her and yet you feel you don't get anywhere. Well, it's very hard to get anywhere if she's not single, is it? Yeah, you get my point? Isn't it? It's very hard to get someone to really open up for intimacy and advancement in terms of relationship things if she already have one. So what many of those women are doing, both consciously but also subconsciously, is to have a couple of doors closed. So if you do something that normally would influence her to feel something, she might not feel anything because that door is closed with a conscious decision to make it close, and subconsciously it just closed. So I want you to have that in mind. And again, don't disqualify yourself then. just see that woman as one of those that are not available. But we as men have a big ego and we are vulnerable. It's very easy for us to think that if she doesn't show much interest, we got this uncomfortable feeling in the gut, and then suddenly we just feel like we are just not good enough, and that can be really depressing. So please have this in mind. 50 to 60% of women between 20 to 45 years old that are attractive are not available. They are singles. So therefore, you cannot just approach one woman. You need to approach a quantity of women to sort out which one is available and which ones are not available and which ones show a lot of interest towards you. Anyway guys, I'll see you in the next video.